from the shadows deep, where the mind and body meet. Every heartbeat pounds like thunder, a call to awaken, no time to wander. Push the limit, feel the fire, one step closer, climbing higher. Warriors unleashed, breaking chains, chasing dreams, the power's in you. Let it scream, get inspired, stand tall, fight the beast, champions for life, warriors unleashed. Every scar's a story, every drop's a fight, sweat and soul under the light. Strength's not given, it's earned in flames. Through the storm, remember your name. Push the limit, feel the fire, one step closer, climbing higher. Warriors unleashed, breaking chains, chasing dreams, the power's in you. Let it scream, get inspired, stand tall, fight the beast, champions for life, warriors unleashed. Push the limit, feel the fire, one step closer, climbing higher. Warriors unleashed, breaking chains, chasing dreams, the power's in you. Let it scream, get inspired, stand tall, fight the beast, champions for life, warriors unleashed. Warriors unleashed. Warriors unleashed. Warriors unleashed.
Sims Nation, welcome back to Warriors Unleashed as we are live on WANT once again, as well as live streaming here on YouTube. We took a weekend off last weekend, and we just took things nice and easy. We didn't stop, right? We didn't just completely do nothing. But we definitely took a little bit of a break. And just so you guys are aware, I'm fully prepared for things to go wrong. However, we should be okay here. I already know that there's one little thing I need to correct for tomorrow's Positively Pat Sim show, but because this show is basically just me talking with you guys, interacting with you guys in the live chat, I think we're going to be okay for today. But I do have the streaming settings set just a tad bit high into the ultra high definition category, and YouTube live streams are kind of capped out at HD 1080 settings. So I'll fix that before tomorrow, but we should be all right today. Shouldn't be much of a deal today. We are shooting this show on my brand new iPhone 17 Pro Max. Don't know if it's making any difference in the shot here. I do know I forgot to turn on the bat signal behind me. Got to make sure that bat signal's on, man. But we have not had a successful broadcast of everything we're doing on WANT for a long time, for probably 2 or 3 weeks at least. So it is great to see that we are fully up and running. We are back live on WANT. And, of course, here on YouTube, where we have our live chat. So if you guys are joining us in the live YouTube show, jump into that live chat, say hello, and we will say hello right back. You can be a part of the show that way. Now, this particular episode of Warriors Unleashed is going to be all about my recommendation that you never stop moving. But I very purposefully, in order to kind of market the show a little bit, when I was teasing the show on other things that I was doing, like this afternoon, I did a live stream on Facebook of me doing my shoulder workout with the weights. And during that show, I was constantly giving some fun little tidbits, and I was giving information and inspiration, but then I was teasing this particular show. And on this particular show, I said there's one very important word that follows the theme of today's show of never stop moving. One word that makes that theme ultra important in our lives. All right, because the idea of never stopping and you never stop moving, that whole thing is a little tough to grasp because we all need to take a moment, right? Everybody needs to stop and rest and recover and all of that stuff. So the idea of never stop moving ever, 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 ever is kind of impossible. We all go to bed at night. We all get our hours of sleep, whatever it is for you, whether it's 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever. We all have to take a break from time to time. We took a break last weekend from doing the live shows. We didn't put anything in the can to give to you guys. We literally took a break. Apart from announcing I was taking a break, I also stayed off of the Positively Pat Sims social medias. We literally just took a break. Now, the word that I want to insert at the end of never stop moving is very simple. And if you can guess it, good on you. But that one word is forward. So think about that for a second. Never stop moving forward. And now to progress forward, sometimes, hear me out, people. Hear me out here. In order to move forward, sometimes you need to take a break. I want to give you a little bit of analogy here because I'm really good at those. I'm really good at analogies here. I want you to think about what it takes to build strength, to build muscle. When you train, you break down the muscle. You don't grow muscle when you lift. That's not what happens. You do see your muscles get bigger because that's fluid building in the muscle. You've got blood rushing to the muscle. You've got lactic acid buildup in the muscle. Gives you the impression of a bigger muscle. That's why in the gym you feel a lot more confident in your muscle size and definition than you do later on that day, the next day, whatever. But you're literally breaking down the muscle. It isn't until you rest and recover that the muscle fibers heal and strengthen. But why? Because you've worked them to the point where they need to be stronger for the next time you work out. So the way I looked at taking a weekend off was not that I was falling behind because I was missing 2 or 3 live shows, and that in that one weekend, people were going to forget about Positively Pat Sims. And instead, how I viewed it was, this was a chance for me to get better for the next time I do those shows, to calm my mind, my spirit, and focus on bringing that positive energy to the shows that I know I can and that have been challenging for me over the last 2 or 3 weeks, because it's not that I was physically or anything struggling, health or fitness-wise. It was a mental deal because I was dealing with so many technical issues. I was dealing with my programs and applications and stuff just wasn't working the way that I needed it to. And it took a lot of work to get it back to where we are now broadcasting and streaming live. And right now, everything looks great. I have a notification from YouTube that says that the current resolution needs to be changed, and I will do that tomorrow morning before we start the show. Actually, I'll do it tonight so that we're ready to go tomorrow morning to make sure we're streaming in full HD 1080 instead of ultra high definition 4K. So good to know, YouTube. Thank you. But the point is the break was needed. It was earned. We've been doing this show now. I believe we're getting into the double digits finally in shows. I'm very, very happy with this. We've been doing this show now almost 3 months. We've been doing the Positively Pat Sims show for over 2 years. We went live for the first time in June of 2023. And we've been doing the Honest Review show for probably maybe 5 months. Right around that point, we started the Honest Reviews before we started doing Warriors Unleashed. And I believe we're getting into episodes 20 and 21 this weekend. So a lot has been going on here. And I've earned that little break that we took last weekend, and I used it to refuel the jet, so to speak, so that when we got back to doing our live shows, I was hitting the ground running, and I had a passion to get back in. When you don't do something that you love to do, and let's say you've grown into really loving working out. All right. Or let's say you've gotten addicted to the results of working out, right? There's plenty of times I don't want to work out because working out's tough. It's hard, especially when you challenge yourself every time. It's extremely difficult. However, the results are worth the effort. And let's say I miss a workout. I'll feel like the day was kind of wasted in a sense from a health and fitness standpoint. I can get by a day mentally with my family and stuff like that without working out, but there's that little part of me on a day where I should be, that I plan to, where I get a little antsy because I've got goals to hit. And I want to be constantly moving forward. And one of the worst things is that feeling that you're going the opposite direction. When you feel like you're taking 2 steps back. Right? And a lot of times that's just our mind telling you the wrong thing. Okay? And again, I want to kind of give you an example of this. Let's say you've been injured. And people look at injuries as a step back in their journey. Okay? But everything has another way of looking at it. Everything. We talked about this on another episode of the show. Everything has another way of looking. Everything has another way about it. Okay? So if you get hurt, that sucks, right? And it's okay to go, darn it, man, I can't believe that happened to me. Have your moment, right? But is it really taking a step back? Or is it, bless you, is it real? My wife is not in a good mood. Smile, be happy. Okay. I don't believe you. All right, guys. But is getting hurt really taking a step back? Because just because you hurt a part of your body doesn't mean that you're now crippled all over your body. This is an opportunity to maybe focus on something else. On your, let's say in my case, when I had my shoulder surgery, this was an opportunity to work on some other things, such as my lower half, the lower body, working on balance, working on lower body endurance and strength, and working on, getting back into long walks and doing other things. It was an opportunity when I was sitting in a chair with an ice pack strapped to me for weeks to start to grow my intellect, to start to research a lot of things. I started to learn a lot about muscle building, about strength building, about what BFR was and how it worked with the power cuffs and how I was going to use that to improve my physical therapy and get healthier faster and more efficiently. And that's amazing. It's such a great thing. So when your body's shutting down on you and you need a break, you can use that time to grow your mind. There's never a time where you literally can't turn a negative into a positive and continue moving forward. And that's why I say never stop moving forward. When we move forward, that's where the magic happens. Moving forward towards all the things we want out of life. Maybe your goals are related to health and fitness. And so your forward is losing weight. Your moving forward is gaining strength or muscle. Your moving forward is lowering your blood pressure. All of those things. Every day, you take a step in the right direction, which is forward. Every day, strive to do one thing better than you did the day before. When you do something as simple as that, you will find that you are consistently moving forward. And if you do that over time, you will find that you have improved drastically across the board. That's exactly how I approached my journey back in 2021. I knew that I wasn't going to be able, after just a couple of weeks or something like that, just magically be able to get down into every position and stretch and be able to do a bunch of push-ups and everything else. That just wasn't going to happen. That wasn't in the cards. It didn't take me a couple of weeks to become 300 plus pounds. It wasn't going to take a couple of weeks to erase the damage that was done. So I knew that I had to get better one step at a time. And it would be something as simple as try to do a push-up from a full push-up position and not from my knees. Try, or at least lower, and then drop to my knees to come back up. Things like that, little things. To start lowering the yoga block down so that I could get deeper into my stretches. There's always some place to go. There's always another step to take. With weight training, it's almost too simple, right? To take a step forward, it could be as easy as adding a rep, adding a couple of reps, adding a couple of pounds to your weights. It could be something, and that sounds simple because we all know that in everything we do, we have off days. We have days that are more challenging than others. When we look at what we're going to do for that particular day and we go, okay, last week I did this. This week I'm going to add 5 reps here, or I'm going to add 5 pounds here. And you go to do it and your body's like, not today. And you're pushing with all your might, with all the intensity that you can, and you just don't get there. It happens. And so what do you do when the physical side doesn't work the way you want it? How do you view that as some kind of way of still moving forward? And one of the things, again, we go back to the mental aspect of it. Maybe you were the kind of person that once you realized you weren't going to get the reps you wanted, or you weren't going to get the weight you wanted, you would drop weight, or you would just give up at the old reps. Like, let's say you would do 12 and you shot for 15 and you get to 10 and you realize you only got 2 left in the tank. So you just get to those 12 and then just put the weight down. You don't even try for that third. All right. That's something you can tell yourself. That's not how I'm going to be now. Next time I'm going to go for that 13, even if I get it only halfway up or a quarter of the way up, whatever the case is, I'm going to go for it next time. You've got to start changing the way that you tell yourself what's going to happen going forward. You got to change the story that you tell yourself in your head, and that's a difficult thing to do. But the mental aspect of working out, the mental aspect of training, the mental aspect of getting healthy, in terms of health and fitness, that's the most important part. And if you do the workouts without the mental work, without the mental shift, you can get results. But the results you're going to get are going to be 100-fold when you get the mentality on board. And this doesn't just apply to working out. This doesn't just apply to health and fitness. I mean, it does apply as well to nutrition, right? We fall down all the time. I talk about this on our show. Why do we fall? It was our second episode. Why do we fall? To learn to pick ourselves back up again. So falling down isn't taking a step back if you view it as it's just a temporary moment to where we continue to move forward by learning to pick ourselves up to be better every single time. We learn from experience. And so that happens with a lot of people when it comes to nutrition and diets, because they get put in a situation where they might be on a particular nutrition plan and their family has some event or whatever, and they go out and they go someplace where there's so many bad options. And maybe it's a place that kind of triggers you to eating the wrong thing or eating too much. And I've had this happen to fast track clients where they'll text me or they'll call me and they're like, I don't know what to do. And I'll literally be like, what are your options? Most places have options that are better for you. Maybe not the healthiest, but they're better for you. And if you eat in moderation, you'll be fine. And in every case, they've been like, well, they've got this, they've got this, they've got that. Okay, that works. This works. With the nutrition plan you're on, this works. There's always another side to every story. Maybe it's as simple as learning to speak up for yourself. Maybe that's part of never stopping moving forward, is learning to be confident in yourself, learning that it's okay to say to the ones that you love and the ones who are supposed to love you in return, maybe this isn't a good idea for me right now. Can we choose someplace else? Is it okay if we do that? Right? There's a respectful way of doing that. There's a way of doing that shouldn't tick everybody off. But it's okay to learn to stand up for yourself. And let them know, hey, going to the all-you-could-eat buffet, for me right now, it's a little triggering. I would prefer if we didn't do that. Can we come up with another solution? Speak up for yourself. That's part of moving forward. Never stop moving forward. You're worth all of that. And if the people that you're around love and care for you, and they think positively of you, they shouldn't be upset about that. They shouldn't put you down for that. They shouldn't make you feel bad for that. Nobody that says they loves and cares for you should ever make you feel bad about doing the right thing. No one should ever make you feel bad for choosing to better yourself, for choosing to work out, for choosing to do what's right for your health and fitness, because what's right for you is going to be better for them. Because chances are the people that you love and care for, who love and care for you, are most likely part of your why, which was our very first episode of Warriors Unleashed. I know full well that my why, which is my wife and my two boys, if I tell them, I need to get a workout in today, please make sure I get a workout in. I don't care when it is, please make sure I get a workout in today. They're going to support me on that. They're going to tell me, okay, well, make sure you get that done. And if they tell me that, make sure I get a workout in this day, make sure I don't miss a day from this day to this day, I'm going to do the same thing for them. And I'm going to remind them, hey, make sure you get this done. Make sure you do this. It's not a punishment. It's legitimately me trying to help because I care. When we took a break last week, we weren't stopping. We didn't stop moving forward because we didn't do live shows. It was an opportunity for me to, yes, sit here, relax, spend time with my wife, have fun, just not have to worry or think about anything over the weekend. That was great. But at the same time, it allowed me to clear my head so that when Monday came around and it was time to start prepping for this weekend's shows, I had a clear head on what I needed to do to make sure that we were airing live on WANT, YouTube, without technical issues, without interruptions. That was exactly what I wanted, and that's exactly what we did. And because I had that rested and clear mind, I was able to get it done in a relatively short amount of time so that I was done, I was ready to go, and now I could focus on the content of the shows and prepping for what I was going to talk about tonight. Think about what I was going to talk about with Ashton and Seth tomorrow on the Positively Pat Sim Show when we talk about Saturday morning cartoons. Yeah, I know. What I was going to talk about when we talk about Revenge of the Sith on Sunday afternoon. Now, I have no idea what we're going to talk about tomorrow on Honest Reviews because my son Owen and I said we'll do it after we see it. Obviously, we can't do it before. But I asked him, do you want to do an Honest Review show after we see the movie? And he said yes. So instead of doing the normal 3 that we do, we're doing the 4 because we're doing the Star Wars stuff. We're always moving forward. All right. And, you know, I had a little moment this morning, and I apologize for that moment that I had with my wife and everything like that. But I think what I was trying to really kind of get at, a lot of people last week or whenever I had my little ER moment, a lot of people were like, you need to slow down. You need to slow down. You need to slow down. And when I went to the ER, which I didn't want to do, but I'm glad I did. If the outcome had been different, then I would agree with everybody. And sometimes even the things that you enjoy and the things that bring you joy, things that bring you happiness, sometimes you need to step away if they are impacting you in a negative way, whether that be physically or mentally. Now, the technical issues I was having was affecting me, and that's why we took a weekend off. But that's it. As soon as I got the technical issues taken care of, I love doing this. I love being on here with you guys. I love when my family joins in on the Positively Pat Sim Show. I love that Owen is going to be a part of the Honest Review Show. I like getting passionate about those kinds of things that a lot of people might find ridiculous. They might find, I've been told since I started doing all this, that it's not worth the time and the effort. And I keep getting, and I've gotten it for 2 years plus. You're 45 years old. Knock it off. Grow up. If it hasn't happened yet, it ain't going to happen now. Well, that's the kind of thinking that goes against everything that I'm talking about right here. And what I've been saying for the last 4 years now, which is that everything is, or it's never too late to try to make something of yourself, to do something that you put off for so long, whether it be your health, whether it be your love life, whether it be your work, whatever the case may be. And it was, and yes, and so, okay, you don't, I'm in the chat, I don't need someone to prove me wrong. Okay, it's my health, it's my body. I know what was said. All right. And it was either infection or it was a muscle issue. There's one of the two. And I know that it wasn't a muscle deal because I know what that feels like. All right. And I knew before I got there what the problem was. I just told other people what I was dealing with because I felt like that it was just something I was really uncomfortable with. And I thought I might want to go home and rest that day. And so that's why I said it was an infection that caused the inflammation in my lungs and chest, that so when I took a breath, it would tighten up. Right? It wasn't, everything came back, that the heart was good, the lungs were good. They were happy with my blood pressure, my weight, all that stuff. So what I got out of that trip was very positive. Very positive. And I've admitted that, yes, the technical issues that I've been dealing with were bringing me stress. But so does a reminder of all of that stuff. If you guys are dealing with stress and you're being reminded how stressed you were, it doesn't help you move past it. And that's why I say, like, I know me. I know what I want to do. And I want to do it. And I do have a bit of that perfectionist in me where I want everything I do to go right. And that doesn't happen in life. So what do? When things don't go the way we want them to, we have our moment, and then we get over that moment. To say that I've been frustrated and everything every day, all day, is not true. Because there's other things in my life that can make me frustrated, that can bring me down. The show is a temporary thing. I get upset during the show. I might be upset a little bit after the show because of what happened, and then I move on. I have things at work that tick me off. Everybody has that. And every day that I work out, I get a lot of that out of my system. Working out for me is a stress reliever. So especially weight training. It's like weight training is allowing me to fight through the stress and fight through the anxiety and fight through the anger that I might have for whatever bullcrap happened throughout the day. And then when I do DDPY, one of the reasons I'm very focused, and I don't like playing a bunch of music. I don't like hooting and hollering all that much. You know, if I'm leading a workout, I'm very focused, because that's me trying to center and bring things back down. Am I always successful? No, I'm not. No one's successful 100% of the time, but I'm constantly trying to work and walk and push forward. And there's always, I'm not saying anything negative about my wife, by the way. I'm not. Because I love my wife. My wife, I wouldn't be alive today without my wife. I wouldn't be as happy as I am today without my wife. Everything in my life that I have today, not everything, but the majority of things I have in my life today, I owe to my wife. I owe a lot to God as well, right? But my wife has meant everything to me. She kept me on track in 2021. She pushed me to be the very best that I could be when I couldn't push myself. She's believed in me from day one. The only issue that I'm mentioning today is that she's worried about me. She's concerned about certain things, and my reassurances as who I am today sometimes is overshadowed by the person I used to be, who would take those things and exacerbate them and make them worse and worse and worse. So I did take her advice, which was to take a weekend off in an attempt to recenter, refocus, and move forward. So you guys will notice I got an error message on YouTube. You need to change your video resolution. Well, we're fine. Everything's looking fine on YouTube as far as I can tell. We've got good audio on WANT. No overreacting. No problem. Smiles all around. The weekend that I took off, I called it my week of Zen. And as soon as I called it that, it seemed like everybody was out to ruin my week of Zen. It was insane. And to be totally honest, I think I did a great job of keeping things together. And that's really what life is all about, isn't it? As you're trying to reach the goals and dreams that you have in life, you're going to get all kinds of people and things and events that are going to try to drag you down. And you have to learn to push through those things so that you never stop moving forward. My dream is that the Warriors Unleashed, Positively Pat Sim Show, Honest Reviews, one or all of them become successful. And this becomes what I do for a living. And that might seem like a pipe dream to 99.9% of the people out there. 99.9% of everybody that I know probably thinks that what I'm doing right now is a waste of time. There are many people I know that right now thinks that this is doing nothing but damaging me because it's not leading to anything. It's not going anywhere. But I'll tell you this right now, if I just stop doing it, guess what? It ain't going anywhere. If I don't push myself, the show, to go forward, then it's that self-fulfilling prophecy. If you say you're not going to be successful, or if someone tells you you're not going to be successful, so you give up, then guess what? You're not going to be successful. And a lot of people might have a hard time understanding that. And maybe it's because of your past. Maybe the person you used to be would start and stop over and over and over and over and over. Maybe the person you used to be never even got started. And so even the idea of doing something outside of what they think you should be doing is challenging to them. It's difficult for them. But when you get in your head and your spirit, that will and that desire to go for more, to push forward and achieve things you never achieved before because you didn't have the tools, you didn't have the confidence, you didn't have the passion or the drive or the why to do them. I have all of that. The reason I never stop moving forward is because my why today is stronger than it's ever been. And whether people think it's right or wrong, it's my choice to continue to push forward. And believe me, every day I sit and I think. I turn on the little wheels that might be a little rusty at times, might be covered in cobwebs sometimes, but I try to get those wheels moving in my head. And I'm always trying to think, how can I be more effective? How can I be more efficient? How can I do this in a way that's better for everyone? Is there a way to do these 3 shows that I love so much in a way that's going to be better across the board for everyone, from me to my family to you guys, to my listeners on WANT, to my viewers here on YouTube? I'm always thinking about that kind of thing. And sometimes the answer is none, no answer. I don't know. And so then I just strive to make the shows I'm doing the best that they can possibly be. And then I do it again. I don't neglect my work. I don't neglect my job. I still do a great job at my work. I don't neglect my family. I still love my family. I still make sure I make time for my family. I'm with them more now than I ever was over the past, before I started working where I'm working now for 4 years. I rarely saw my family. Now I see them every night. I get to work out with my family every night. I get to sit and watch videos with my family. I get to say goodnight in person to my family. I see my family more now than I have in a very, very long time. And and I've done this before, if I have to choose between my family because there's something going on or a show, I choose my family. But I also honor my commitments. And if I say I'm going to do something, I do it. If I promise something, I do it. Or at least I try with the best of my ability to do it, because that to me also is part of moving forward. Life is a balancing act. It's like juggling. You got to keep your eye on the ball. You got to balance what you want to do and what you need to do. And you need to find that balance to find peace, find happiness. Because when that's off, when the scales tip further to one side than the other, then your life gets off balance. Your life tilts to one side. And that's not good. You need to find that middle the best that you can. I've said the same thing to people who come at me about politics and stuff like that. I mean, people come on social media. That seems to be the biggest thing. Whether it's politics and it's Star Wars and wrestling is what I see more. And right now, kind of DC also jumping in the mix there. Everyone's so divided. Everyone's on one side of the fence or they're on the other. And they're just running apart from each other. They're just spreading out across the field and they're running away from each other instead of coming together. My plea to us as a people, to my Sims Nation, to my United States, my nation of fellow Americans, we have to move forward. And the only way we can do it is together. Just because you're on one side doesn't mean that you're 100% right on everything. And just because you're on the other doesn't mean you're 100% right on everything. It's about understanding each other and coming together. And sometimes you're going to have to make some sacrifices. Sometimes you're going to have to negotiate. Right now, that's just not happening. And until we come together as a people, until we come together, it's just not going to happen. And you guys know what I'm talking about. If you've been a part of a support group, if you've been a part of a group of people that support you, whether it be your family, whether it be an addiction support group, whether it be a health and fitness support group, if you find a group that actually legitimately supports you, I use this word a lot, but it's magic. You feel like you can accomplish anything. When my family gets behind me and says, we believe in you and we know you deserve success. We think you earned this success. Keep doing it. Keep pushing. You've got this. You're going to make it. It makes me feel like anything is possible as long as I keep moving forward. And the same is what I want for you. Maybe I'm one of the lone voices that you have that's positive in your life. Maybe you found this show on WANT. Maybe you found this show on YouTube. However you found us, we love that you found us. But however you did, maybe my voice was saying things that you needed to hear, and it hopefully inspired you. We say this every show: get inspired to be an inspiration. Maybe that's enough to help you get started in your journey to push and move forward for a better tomorrow, and then a better day after that, and an even better day after that. My goal in life isn't just to do one physical thing, health and fitness wise, that's better than it was the day before. I'm trying to be a better person tomorrow than I was today. And it be something as simple as trying to remember to be appreciative anytime something good happens to me. From simple things like my wife cooking dinner and me thinking that me plowing through my meal is enough when I should say thank you. Those are little things that I'm trying to be more aware of. I'm trying to not let things get to me that have gotten to me. And I've been a little bit more successful with that at work. I did have a kind of a moment yesterday, but overall, I've been much better at controlling a lot of those things that, in terms of my emotions and things, because you can't control what other people do. You can't control how other people act. And when you try, you just get people fighting you on it. Believe me, because I've done it, and I've tried. Again, it's one of those things I work on myself. Don't do it. Right? People will fight you on it. If you don't want someone telling you, right? How many of you like being told how you feel? Right? How many of you like being told how you feel, or what your attitude is like, or what this or that, how you're doing? How do you like when people tell you instead of asking you, and then whatever you say, they have to live with it, right? Because that's what we want. We want to be like, when someone says like, how you doing? Fine. It basically means shut up and go away, right? It very rarely does fine actually mean fine. Good is better, right? I'm feeling great is better. But fine, that's another one I think of sometimes as a way of moving forward and becoming a better person. Maybe stop using fine so much. And I catch myself doing it all the time. People, how you doing? Fine. I'm doing fine. But fine very rarely actually means fine. And when people tell me they mean they're fine, especially when you guys know what I mean. When you hear that tone of voice, fine. It's so hard to shut up. Because they're not, right? They're like, fine. And you're like, no, really, how you doing? Because that doesn't sound fine, right? There's always some place to go. There's always something to work on. I know that for me. And as long as I'm going to sit here and try to inspire you and tell you all the things I've learned in my life, I've got to keep improving myself. I've got to keep learning myself. Otherwise, eventually, I'm just going to be a hypocrite trying to tell you what to do, but I don't do it myself. One of the reasons I went live on Facebook this afternoon for my workout was because I wanted to show people that I don't just get on here, I don't just get on social media and just say, hey, do this, do that, do this. Hey, I'm doing this, but I don't show you that I'm doing it. And so I wanted to actually take you through a workout and show you the amount of reps and sets that I do, the weights that I use. Talk to you guys about my process and how I think. And it helps me, and hopefully it helped some of you who watched that Facebook Live. I don't ever want people thinking that I'm just here to talk down to you, or I'm here to talk to you about things, but then once I'm off the air, I'm a different person, or I don't do the things that I tell you guys to do, or that my encouragement only is directed in one direction and I don't put it into action myself. I'm one of those people where if I'm going to ask you to do something, I better darn be willing to do it myself. And I'm telling you, every topic that we've done is all something that I've worked on or am currently working on. And that's why I want to talk about it. Because I feel like if something that can help me, then I know that there are people out there that it can help as well. This show is always meant to be a positive place, an inspiring place, a motivating place where you can learn and you can take what I've told you and you can put it into action in your life so that you can keep moving forward. Find your why like I did. Remember why we fall so that we learn to pick ourselves back up. Remember that you are a superhero. It's all about now finding out what it is about you that makes you a superhero. For me, it's the 3 F's: family, faith, and fitness. So what makes you a superhero? What is it that keeps you pushing and moving forward? That's your homework assignment, Sims Nation, for this week until we meet again next week. Think about it. What is it that keeps you moving forward? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the live chat as we close out today's show. I want to thank everybody who jumped on here for Warriors Unleashed. I want to thank my family for their support. I want to thank my family for the encouragement to take a break that was needed. And I want to thank you guys for your encouragement, for me getting back on the ball, and for believing in me and knowing that I have what it takes to be whatever I want to be in this life. And I want that for you, my Sims Nation. Until next weekend from our next Warriors Unleashed, make sure you jump on and join us tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Positively Pat Sims Show with my son Seth, my buddy Ashton, as we are going to be talking about Saturday morning cartoons, our favorite, from Transformers, Thundercats, He-Man, Ninja Turtles, DuckTales, Garfield and Friends, Darkwing Duck. We got a whole list that we're going to be trying to get through, and those of you who watch the show know. Plus, we've got 3 all-new original songs for you tomorrow. I can't wait to play them for you. And then later on at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern is our next honest review show where we're going to be reviewing the all-new Disney film Tron Ares, which my son Owen and I are going to be seeing tomorrow. My first experience going to see an IMAX 3D movie. I've seen IMAX, and that was a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away when Star Wars Episode 2 came out in 2002. So my last experience with IMAX was 23 years ago. So I'm long past due for that experience, and I'm looking forward to it. And then after that show, it's all about family time, and I can't wait as we start prepping for my wife's birthday. That's going to be really, really exciting. And then on Sunday, we are coming back for one more honest review at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, as we talk about my favorite Star Wars movie, Revenge of the Sith. And even as my favorite, I'm going to be honest about everything. So, guys, thanks for joining us. Make sure you subscribe. Click that little bell down below to follow us. And we'll see you tomorrow. And we'll see you Sunday. And after that, I'll see you next weekend right here on Warriors Unleashed. I am positively Pat Sims. Ladies and gentlemen, get inspired to be an inspiration. So long, everybody. Have a great rest of your night.
The lights are dim, but the room still hums with the echoes of laughter and the moments we spun. Every honest word is like a stone in a stream. It rippled, it lingered, it shaped our dream. And if you ever wonder where I'll be, look to the screen, I'll be there, you'll see. Goodbye to the faces that stayed in the glow. Goodbye to the voices I always know. This isn't an end, just a bend in the road. Goodbye for now, my friends, my show. The cameras rolled and the stories grew. Each review a mirror of me and you. Through coffee stains and late night calls, we built a world behind these walls. And if you